The passage below offers interesting facts about roller coasters. G-forces, weightlessness, loops, and corkscrew turns. Those are experiences only for jet pilots and astronauts, right? Not at all. All you have to do to experience the thrill of negative G's or a tight barrel roll is hop on a roller coaster. Speed is what makes a roller coaster so exciting, says Alan Shilk, a roller coaster designer for Aerodynamics Incorporated in Clearfield, Utah. G-forces, airtime, and inversions like the loops and rolls that turn you upside down also add to the thrill. Roller coasters might give you some of the same sensations as a jet or rocket, but they don't operate on high-powered engines. Speed comes from starting the coaster cars from a great height. On the world's tallest coaster, Superman, the Escape at Six Flags Magic Mountain, riders are towed to a height of 41,510 feet. The car builds speed to up to 100 miles per hour on the long drop. How about those weird feelings of either being pressed down into your seat or floating up out of it? What you're feeling is the effect of G-forces. G-forces are measured in relation to gravity. When you're sitting still, gravity pulls you toward the earth with a G-force of 1 G. As you reach the bottom of a hill on a coaster and begin to move upward again, you're pushed down into your seat with a force of more than 1 G. You actually weigh more. This force also increases when the car accelerates or builds up speed. When the coaster goes over the top of a hill and you seem to float off your seat, that's the opposite effect. You are experiencing negative G's, where you weigh less than 1 G. It's called airtime, and it's the same feeling of weightlessness astronauts feel in space. All of these effects are carefully planned when a roller coaster is designed. Mr. Shilk explains that any roller coaster design is first tested on a computer that measures the forces acting on the cars and their occupants over every inch of the track. We keep the G-forces pushing you into the seat under 4 G's, he explains. We keep the lateral or sideways forces under 1 G. It's one of the many ways coasters are designed for safety. After the computer analysis, the track is built and then carefully tested. An accelerometer is mounted on a car while it goes over the course. This measures the forces acting on the car throughout the trip. Then comes one of the best parts of the job for a roller coaster builder: test rides. Track builders and engineers take ride after ride to see for themselves if the coaster is a success. Once they're satisfied, it's open to the public. The new coasters, with their complex corkscrews and loops, have come a long way from the original idea. The first such rides, called gravity rides, were built in Russia in the 1600s. In winter, wooden ramps up to 70 feet high were covered with water and frozen into ice. Passengers would carry sleds up a ladder and then zoom down. They were called gravity rides because the sleds weren't powered, but they relied on gravity to keep them moving. The idea reached France in the 1800s, but the winters weren't cold enough to keep the ice frozen. So they ran sleds on wooden rollers. That's why they're now called roller coasters. The first gravity ride in the United States was in Pennsylvania in the 1870s using an old mining railway. In the early 1900s, safety improved when inventor John Miller added under-track wheels to the cars. Now each car has 3 sets of wheels. One set rides along the top of the track, another near the sides. 40 keeps the cars on course. And a third set of wheels under the tracks makes sure that the cars stay on the rails even when they're upside down. By the 1920s, roller coasters were becoming popular in the U.S. The Depression of the 1930s and World War II in the early 1940s slowed down the production of roller coasters, but now there are over 350 coasters in the U.S. The first American coasters were wood, but in the 1960s, steel coasters began to appear. Steelies can be twisted into more complex inversions and allow for cars that hang from an overhead track. But some people still prefer the original wooden coasters. They like the creaking of the wood as they zip around a turn. The creaking is a good sign. It means the wood is flexible and gives as the cars go over it. So get your ticket and hop in. You're in for a screaming good time.